paquet.
How did you grow up and got started in film business?
I started in film business. Sorry, I have to. No, it's alright. The first time I wanted to make a movie, I worked, I got the money, and I made the movie. I never been in a school, or I never been in assistant, never. I earned the money and made the movie. Short movie.
With the exception of Baby Blood, what other short movies or feature movies have you been directing?
I made several short movies. One called Voix d'eau, the story of a man in his bath. Under the water, he could hear noises and voices coming from the canalization, And I made a thriller, a little one, called Tueur Maison, homemade killer, something like that in English, and Corridor, and Sado et Mazo sont dans un bateau, which can be translated, Sado and Mazo are in a boat, but in English it doesn't mean anything.
So your first movie was called Irene and the Shadow. Can you tell us something about this one?
Yes, it was my first long feature, and it was a thriller, but so complicated I did not understand the story,
And how did you get the chance to direct Baby Blood?
It was my second long feature, and I wanted to make a movie, the cheapest movie in Earth. I wanted to make the cheapest movie in Earth, so I met a producer and I told him I want to make a movie with one character, a woman, and inside her somebody. So it will be very cheap. Very, very cheap to make a movie like that. And he said, okay, you can write the story and after we'll see. And I wrote the story, and at the beginning it was very, very cheap, but you write and it's more and more expensive. At the end it's not an expensive movie, but it's not the cheapest movie enough.
Okay, what kind of role does Baby Blood plays in your role as a Korean?
That is a very difficult question, because there is good and bad. The good thing now, 6 years later, a lot of people know me because of Baby Blood. American people, they know me. In Germany, you know me. I didn't know that first. Almost everywhere. But in France, it was very difficult to work because of Baby Blood. Because people, they don't like very much gore movies, they want to make very serious movies, and it was very difficult to make movies for television, for example. It's too bad for television, it's too bad for commercials. So it was very good for me, because a lot of people out of France, they know me, in USA or in Spain, but in France they don't like that kind of movie very much. It's difficult to make other movies when you make a movie like that.
Was Baby Blood very successful outside France?
Outside of France, yes. I know that in USA the movie has been overdubbed, and my voice in the French movie is the voice of the monster, and in the English movie my voice is the voice of Gary Oldman, for example. So I was very proud of that. I know that the movie has been shown in Australia, in USA, in Russia, in Moscow and Leningrad. Oh, yes. I made the only gore movie in France,
Do you plan a sequel to Baby Blood, as it was mentioned in the movie, or is it just a joke?
It was just a joke.
That's good. By whom do you think are you influenced, and what people are your idols?
I hope my work is influenced by nobody, I hope, because I would like to make my own movies without other people, but we are always influenced. I can tell you about director I like very much, or movies that when I was young has influenced me. I remember, for example, a Japanese director called Ichikawa Kon. Ichikawa's name, Kon's first name. And he made a movie in 1959, 1960. I remember two movies, The Harp of Burma and The Fire in the Plain. And it was a story during the war, a man was half crazy and he has to go to the hospital, and the hospital has been burned by American people. He was Japanese, and he was walking through the jungle, just to survive. And at the end, he is obliged to kill people, to eat people. It's horrible. I was 10 years old, and I made nightmares for 6 months. I remember I saw the movie seven times since I was 10, and I think that for me it's one of the greatest movies in the earth.
In 3 of your movies, the actor Jean-François Galot is acting. Is he your favorite actor, and how did you meet him?
Jean-François Galot is first of all a friend. I have known him for 20 years, something like that. Not 20 years, 15 years perhaps. And I remember that the first time I met Jean-François Galot was in Paris. I was looking for a job, and I wanted to make storyboards for movies, and he came to see me because he wanted a storyboard for his movie, because he's a director too. And I made a storyboard. I spent a long time to make the storyboard, and he took the storyboard, and when he shot his movie, he never used my storyboard. Never. He put just here, and after I thought he was very, very, very funny, very healthy, and I gave him a little part to play in my first movie, I Run Out the Shadow. And it was so funny. I gave him another part in the corridor, Sadon Mazo, Baby Blood, everywhere I can put him. It's okay.
Is filmmaking your only job?
Yes.
Do you have any problems with censorship in France?
I had problems, yes. Everybody then thinks that in France there is no problem with censorship. I think it's not true. For example, when Baby Blood was released in 1990 in France, it was forbidden, for 18 years old people. And the same movie, but American, was only forbidden for 13 years old people. So there was difference between the French and American movies. French people, they think that we don't have to make gore movies. Italian people can make gore movies, American people, Mexican people if you want, Brazilian people, but not French people. So when a French make a movie like that, it's not good. It's not possible. So people in the theaters, for example, there is a lot of theaters called art et essai. That means for independent movie. Theaters where it's possible to see independent movie. They didn't want to show my movie because it was not a good movie. That's all. In France, people, they want to be serious. In French, noble. I think that's noble in English. You know what I mean? I was not like that.
So it seemed that the situation in France is not so good for filmmakers?
No, it's very difficult. Now, the big problem in France is that the money to make movie come from the television. And 3 months ago, everybody told the television there is too much violence in the television. So we want signs, in the corner of the television. A green one is for the family. A red one, don't let the children look at that. And now if you want to make a movie, you must be very kind. You must work for family. But if I don't want to work for the family, if I want to make a sex movie, if I want to make a violent movie, it's impossible. Now it's impossible. So you have to be very kind now in France to make a movie. And everybody wants comedy. I like comedy, but everybody wants that. I think that 30 years ago, the French cinema was the best in the world because 30 years ago there was a lot of different movie. Violent movie, thrillers, comedy, a lot of adventure, But now there is not a lot of different movie. You have comedy, you have what I call arrêt essai, intellectual or movie intimist, just like a telefilm. And that's all.
Speaking of comedy, your films seem to be very influenced by black comedies. Is this a style you like? Is this the films you like also to watch?
When I made one real comedy, Baby Blood is a comedy but not a real comedy. At the beginning it was a horror movie. I wanted to make a horror movie, but during the shooting I was turning into a comedy. I like comedy. And when I made Sado and Mazo sont dans un bateau, I tried to make a real comedy. And I realized that it's the most difficult film to do. To make people to laugh is very difficult. You have to be very, very concentrated on your job if you want that the audience laugh. Because if your frame is too large, if the actor is not excellent, if the picture is not very good, you can stay like that without laughing. And I wanted people to laugh. And when after you go in the theater and you hear all the people laughing, it's great. So now I like very much comedy, but it's a very hard job to do.
Are comedies the films you like to watch?
Sorry?
Are the comedies the film you like to watch?
No. The film I like to watch, every kind of movie. I like very much thriller. I like very much. Even now, every time there is thriller on television, I like very much the thriller. I like horror movie, but it's very difficult to find now in 1997. It's very difficult to find a good horror movie, and I think that all the horror movie I see are the same. So I liked that before, but not now. No, and I like movie when you can recognize the style of the director. I like that. I don't like very much the very big American movie because it's impossible to recognize the director here. I like a little bit something crazy in a movie, but in very big American movie now there is no style. You can change the director to another one, come, the same, always.
What kind of future plans do you have? Do you have new projects?
I would like to make a movie. It will be very difficult again, but the story is a man who is alive and he has an accident and he's still alive, but it's a mistake. He is in the land of the dead people, but he's alive, and he think, oh, I am here, I want to bring back Elvis Presley on Earth. And it will be, he met an angel, a girl, an angel, but she's a girl. I know that angel has no sex, but mine has one. And there is a love story between the angel and the man, and he still want to bring back Elvis Presley, but it's very difficult. That's all.
Will be Jean-François Galop playing the man?
No, the man will be Smain. You don't know?
Yeah, of course.
You know Smain?
Yeah, from the movie Parano, he plays the
yes.
Pizza.
Yes, he will be smiling. And Jean-François Gallotte will be
Very handsome.
hairdresser, but an angel. An angel who cut hair, in hell.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, that's all. Thank you very much for the interview.
Thank you very much for you.
Answer.